So as you can see, the wildflower lawn is coming on quite well, and there are some nice daisies in it, some nice dandelions, a few other weeds. And I decided that Dylan's bench and Jonathan's bench could be pieces of sculpture within the walkway. So let's take a walk along. Nice bench to rest. The beech tree we cut down a few years ago, decided that could be a little piece of both art and place for biodiversity for insects that would like to have a bite and a chew and a house in a little area, a bit like Ashling's kind of bug hotel, but not quite as spectacular as Ashling's bug hotel. And we continue on down here and we sit in the shade of the old apple tree, as the song goes. Got the bench and the apple tree, and it's beautiful, and it's a nice place to sit and contemplate and look back up along the little zigzaggy path. This is a clematis that flowers in the spring. I think it's a Montana type, and I think it's called Tangutica, and I'm going to check that up, and I'll probably put the real name on screen for you if I find out before I send the video. And the canna lilies, we did a little bit of cutting and cleaning on them and have them lined out here, and as you can see, a lot of them are really starting to sprout and grow. We put some fertilizer on them and we're watering them quite regularly now, so as they will turn into big spectacular plants that we can put up on the grounds. Moneymaker and Gardener's Delight tomatoes. Daily is growing like crazy. I think you've seen them a couple of times now, but each time you see them they're coming on a lot more. Anne is busy pricking out and potting on various different things, and we will have a video on that coming quite soon. A few more things sown. These are tomatoes that kind of got a bit leggy because I didn't take the plastic off on time over the weekend. I think they weren't ready on Friday and it was a long weekend, so by the time I came in on Tuesday they were gone a little bit leggy, but they'll be okay. They're tomatoes called Plum. The watermelons, I think Anne will talk a little bit more about them in one of the videos that we sent to you. And the tomatoes. And I've been doing a bit of cleaning in the tunnel, getting ready for a lot of these vegetables to go in. Courgettes, runner beans, more of the lovely oriental salads. I think I got this wrong the last time I said cauliflower, but it's broccoli, and some of the others you saw a couple of weeks ago, but they're really starting to grow, as you can see, because of the time of year. Yeah, everything's coming on great here. I think I have a little bit more footage of this, which I'll be showing you at some stage, but Anne has been using the taping gun to tie up some of the climbing plants, such as the clematis and the lovely passion flowers. As you will see, it's these little pieces of tape, and again we'll probably do a separate video showing you exactly what we're doing with that, but it's just a quick whiz round. They've been tied up to make them neat, I suppose. There's no need to tie them up culturally because normally they would twine up along the structure that they're on, but in a nursery situation where you need to keep everything neat, that's what you have to do. Yeah, you would think that everybody was here only for there's no people, but we're keeping the place looking good, awaiting your return. We've got hanging baskets up, we've got beautiful wallflowers, so you can smell and see the beauty as you walk in and out of the lovely horticulture timber cabin. And we've got a little bit of nice colour around the pond, and I've been keeping the grass on my own. Now I used the ride-on lawnmower on a part of this, and you can see I've scalped some of the areas, but I was trying to see how quickly I could get everything done. But I did do a nice job of strimming an edge and strimming all the way around the edges of the paving. Let's have a peep at these tadpoles again. Happy little tadpoles. They're all coming on, and we're all looking at them like proud parents. There's still thousands of them. Yeah, you probably remember seeing this in the last video, and I said that it was called two different common names. Can you remember what they were? One of them was Bleeding Heart, and the other one was Maid in the Bath or Bride in the Bath. And the reason why is because if you turn it up this way, it looks like a bride or a maid in the bath. And if I had two hands available, which I don't, I could pull the two sides and she'll pop up and down in the bath as if she's swimming. I'm keeping all the grass areas cut. Anna's doing a lot of nursery work and I'm keeping the grass areas cut. But I'm not cutting all of them. Continuing on the theme of last year of encouraging biodiversity and allowing the grass to grow wild, allow the wildflowers within the lawn to grow, have a habitat for, I suppose, all of the bugs that were happy in the soil and in the grass. You can see I've done quite an elaborate in and out kind of splat shape. I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in a couple of weeks' time when everything grows. So I've got a bit of an area around this tree. I decided to integrate the trees into some of this. Around the oak tree over here. Sorry, that makes that blurred. Around the oak tree and around the walnut tree I've left some patches, and we've also left one around the sun locust tree or honey locust tree down the end there. And as the weeks go on, I'll show you how it goes. And these lawn areas have received no fertilizer because we want to keep it as natural as possible. And we're doing it on the other side too, at the day centre. Not because I don't have any time to cut the grass. I think it's more for ideological reasons. We're talking about biodiversity and that's the way the world is going. And maybe one of the advantages of the COVID-19 crisis is that some of the grass areas are going to get long anyway, and hopefully when landscape contractors and garden maintenance contractors come back, they might consider leaving some of the grass long and just cutting around the edges, maybe doing some sort of a picture frame. When you cut around the edges, it definitely makes it much more neat. If you leave all the grass wild and long, sometimes people say that looks tatty, that looks untidy, I don't like that. But if you make an elaborate piece of art out of the leaving the grass long, I think people are more accepting and they tend to kind of see the nature and the beauty within the area a little bit more readily then. So I did tell you I wasn't looking forward to this job of weeding around the potatoes, and as a result I left it for probably a week longer than I should have. And now you can see no difference at the start between the weeds and the potatoes. If you look, I've been working at this for about 20 minutes now, and it's quite easy using this oscillating hoe to pull out the weeds, try and separate them from the soil as much as possible, and to tickle in around the tubers. It's not the ideal because I suppose some of the shoots of the tubers, some of the shoots that are coming up off the potatoes are probably very near the surface, and I would like not to have to scuffle around the base of them. So in some cases I'm pulling out the weeds by hand there. But down along the middle, because of the fact that I know I have potatoes in rows because Mike and Jonathan put these potatoes in rows, I know that I can weed down along the middle without any danger of hitting a potato plant. So you can see I'm getting it fairly clean in around the plants, a rake over the surface and a scuffle over the surface afterwards, and it'll be clean as anything. And that's what I'm at. So there you go. So I have one done. I've been working at it bit by bit all day, on and off, removing weeds in between the rows, and then the loose soil in the middle I've raked up onto the middle, which is where the tubers are, the potato tubers.
The sprouting broccoli has just been removed, and the oriental salad leaves have also been removed. As you can see, the next thing to do is to prepare the bed, break off all of the dead leaves, and maybe apply